No, I'm busy tonight, actually.
Hey, gang. Welcome to the Jerry Hot Clubs.
The what?
Jerry Hot's Clubs.
Pete's been a little sick for a few days. He's literally just left his house for the first time.
Since Tuesday. Welcome to the Jerry Hotpants Club podcast.
So quiet.
With me, as always, is our friend Christopher.
Hello.
Yusef is actually off battling somebody in a duel of fates out on the west side somewhere.
A crackhead DoorDash driver, apparently.
Yeah. Don't support DoorDash. Use Grubhub. Tonight on the show, we have...
Take your lazy ass to the store and get your own food.
Yeah, but really, though, it's such a great service, right? What if
does
I
make
am
it
balls
convenient.
deep in a fucking Netflix marathon and I don't want to go anywhere?
Yeah, man.
Don't want to hit pause?
They deliver liquor now,
Fuck
too.
both.
So you can just stay at
Do
home
they
and be
really? Do they really?
Yeah, they just put booze on DoorDash, but Instacart's had it for a while.
The decline of Western civilization continues.
That's what they say.
Okay,
man.
so this
No drinking and driving,
this
yeah.
strange bearded gentleman to my left, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Randy.
Hi, Randy.
What more do you need to know?
Where you're living, what's your social security number?
Maybe.
He's so
I
old,
was-
it's just 56. So, this
It was
weekend is...
before.
Okay, so one rule in the podcast is try not to talk over people, Randy, because the people at home can't really hear what's going on when you don't
Punch him.
shut the fuck up.
Punch him.
Shut the fuck up.
Punch him.
Sorry.
Okay.
So sorry.
That violates terms and conditions. So,
You didn't show them to me.
it is Memorial Day weekend, folks.
Yes.
And,
Thank you, vets.
yes, thank you for your service. Randy is actually a veteran himself.
I am.
What branch of the armed forces were you in, sir?
I was in the Navy.
All right.
All right. What year did you
Midshipman.
enlist?
I enlisted in 1980, right after high school.
Ooh,
And I got out in 84.
All right.
nice.
Officially out in 86.
Officially out, so not dishonorably discharged.
Oh, no, it was honorable. Barely, but it was honorable.
You did something right for the first time
Oh, yeah.
ever.
Got out, and the rest is history.
And where'd they send you?
I was in Scotland 2.5 years.
It's not Scottish, it's
That's
crap.
great. Oh, that's great. Free bonny Scotland.
You fit in with that red beard in Scotland.
Up your
Yeah.
kilt. On your bike.
He's Redbeard, the butt
Your
pirate.
bike, you poof.
So, okay, hey, remember what we talked about? There are certain things you can and cannot say on the airwaves.
Sorry. Okay.
So,
So Memorial Day weekend. Hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, soda. We're not doing fireworks yet. Fireworks come in a couple months.
no, now you're wrong about this.
They're out. They're for
Yeah.
sale.
They're out.
The whole fucking town sounded like a goddamn Baghdad last night.
They did. My dog was scared. That's right.
It was such a yo,
Yeah, but that one's
and you
deaf,
live
so
right
she
around the
can't hear.
corner, so it's
I sleep like a baby.
the thrill of fireworks when we were kids, right? Because you weren't supposed to have them because they were illegal here, right?
Right.
But now that you can get them anywhere, it's just like I don't care anymore. You boom, boom, bang, bang. I don't care.
Yeah,
I just don't care anymore. And the guy that is out in his yard, he's had 30, 35 bush lights, out of the cube, and he's out there in his swim trunks that he's been in
Got
since
a
last
Fram
Tuesday.
oil filter shirt on.
Yeah, and it's got mustard on it, right? And he's just lighting off firework after firework, going, yeah! And his wife, right? His wife has got their fucking real mongoloid looking child right on their fucking lap, going, that's gonna be you someday. Boom, 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 all fucking night long. First, the truth of, or it's just like, they wander off or they walk over to light it and they nod the fuck out and fall right over and kaboom. And again, this whole town has had an issue for the entire time that I've lived here with people not doing things responsibly. Not, so
Really?
Yeah.
Anybody you know?
Myself included, And the funny thing about all of that is that, you know, I kind of think for a minute, like the whole idea of this weekend is to, you know, pay respects to those who have fallen in the line of duty, correct? You know?
Yeah.
And, you know,
protecting the country.
Yes, protecting our country, defending this country. And in some cases, you know, like we had to go do World War II. We had to. And people, even when they didn't believe in what they were fighting for, they still enlisted. They still signed up. Mm-hmm. And they still paid the ultimate price. And what better way to immortalize these people than just downing Boone's Farm and fucking smoking blunts and like eating 7-Eleven
and blowing
pizza.
Shit up.
And just blowing shit up.
That's what
America.
That's what they died for. So you're able to do that free with no one telling you what
Right.
to do.
Baseball's on, apple pie, pussy, fireworks. What up?
Right. Yeah, okay.
I got a stepbrother that spent 20 years. He was a pilot in the Navy. And that's what he says. Some people might not like it. It says you go party. That's what this weekend's for. You got the freedom to do that. That's why most of them died. So you can do that. All we ask is that you pay respects for them for doing it. Take the time out. Go. Thank you.
Right. In this town in particular, I think that Bay County is the oldest county per capita in the state of Michigan.
It is.
And it also has
Actually, that I don't know.
It is. There was a CNN did a report, and I think it was in the CNN report right before the last election. But and it's also got the most vets per capita.
See, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Either.
And you can, I could kind of guess
There's
that.
actually the county building's got a list of all the veterans that.
That's right. It does.
Passed. I saw that the other day.
Is it all the vet? And then Veterans Memorial Park has all the wars, who fall on active duty, I think, down.
Well, no, that's in front of the county.
I feel
building.
bad because I haven't gone down there, but yeah, I think it's right next to the helicopter.
Yeah.
The Huey.
Yeah.
And so, you know, over the years, since I've been around, right, like the Afghanistan war, when that started in the early 2000s, I was naive and young and in my early 20s. And I was like, you know, this is Bush's oil war and blah, blah, blah. But not at one time that I think like, you know, these guys that are going over there and laying down their lives. It was never, I've never perceived the, you know, active military personnel to be any kind of an enemy whatsoever. Because they signed up and they have a lot more courage and gusto than I'll ever have, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the other point I wanted to make is, like in the 60s, when vets were coming home from Vietnam, and they had to deal with the disrespect of people spitting on them and calling them baby killers and all that horseshit.
A lot of that was thanks to the media.
Yeah, it would have been.
Because that's the only thing.
Foreign influence propaganda making our media hate our vets. That's what I would do if I was communist in that situation. I'd push that hard.
I have a lot of friends that were in the Vietnam War. A lot of them even in the program that have been in it, and they're pretty straightforward about it, but they don't
want to sit around and talk about it.
No.
Be close to that, Mike.
My parents met. My dad was in the Korean War, and he lost his leg when he was 22. That's how he met my mom. My mom and 2 or 3 of her friends went down to Washington, D.C., to Walter Reed Hospital to cheer on the troops, cheered on those that came back. I don't know if that goes on today. I'm sure it does. But that's how they met.
It does. There's a lot of, and there's a lot more in the way of support groups for those who come home with what they used to call it shell-shocked, right?
Right now it's PTSD. Right, yeah.
And so they have a lot in the way of, you know, trying to help.
Not enough, though.
No, not even close to. Not even close. And, you know, VA hospitals are still a fucking joke.
Right, because it's government-run healthcare, so it's going to be terrible.
Well, and so it comes to the reason I'm bringing any of this up is that, you know, there's an elderly gentleman who comes into my work almost every day, you know, and he's a veteran. And the guy is in real rough shape. He can barely bend his knees. You know, so he kind of walks very rigid, walks with a cane. Mm-hmm. And, you know, what I love to see is, and we always try to cater to him to the best of our ability. We always get out and hold the door open for him. We'll walk his stuff out to his vehicle for him, so that he doesn't have to worry about that excess of having to carry stuff because he's real unstable. And I see customers hold the door for him. I see customers offer to buy things for him, One guy was in front of him in line, and the guy behind him was like, I got all of his food. And he's like, no, you don't got to do that. He's like, no, I got his food. I will, I appreciate and respect him because I have the ability to do this today because he did what he did. And then, I really always hate coming to the point of agreeing with Chris on things, but I mean, the media does teach us to kind of look at the military as a whole, not as the individuals that make decisions that put these men in harm's way. Bad military decisions, blunders, things that cost people their lives. There's casualties of war on both sides. There's always collateral damage when you're talking about,
talk about war.
And
it happens.
The media loves to look at things like casualties of war to sell an idea. And what gets lost is, one, I thank you for your service. I do.
You're welcome.
Because
my pleasure.
Me too. Thank you, Randy.
You had more courage to do something than I ever could.
Well,
funny story. This is a true story. As a joke, I went into a Marine recruiter's office my senior year because that shit starts showing up at your door.
Did they just laugh you out?
No.
What
is that test? The ASFABs or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I took that and tested off the charts. And then they were like, okay, so you sign this and you'll be off in no time. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to get yelled at a lot. And all I can think about is lean forward and choke yourself. Like I would be Gomer Pyle. I absolutely would, and
you're not that crazy.
No, but like I withdraw into my head a lot when I feel I'm the object of shame, ridicule, guilt, and that's me. I'm doing it to myself. So in the military, we have these impressions of what boot camp and things like that are, right? That the TV sells us, that Hollywood sells us. Is it anything like that?
I haven't seen a lot of boot camp on TV, but no, it's what boot camp is it's taking your mindset from a civilian life into a military life. It's taken whatever you think. There was one example. There was a guy in my boot camp. He had been in boot camp at that time when I joined the Navy. They had a boot camp in Orlando, Florida, which is where the females did boot camp. There was Great Lakes and there was San Diego.
Okay.
When I went in, it was called the Delayed Entry Program. I joined in June, and I wanted to join there. I could not even get in until January 1st, and I had to go to Orlando. Not to get into but there was one guy, he had been there, that he refused to listen to anybody, and he kept getting knocked. He was there for, I think, 5-6 months. Boot camp was 8 weeks, 3 days. That's how long it was when I was in.
Yeah.
And he just kept, because he kept getting knocked back to, because he wouldn't listen. He finally, when he got to our company, he says the only way he's going to get out of here is just to listen to him. And that's what you need to do. If you're told to do something, you got to do it, because if you don't do it, people will die. Period.
Yeah.
And that's just the mindset. That's my way of looking at it. So it's getting you from I can do anything I want. You can't tell me what to do. To how high you want me to jump. Okay. And
so how you're gonna want to bring me down a little bit there.
Well, there we go.
So tell me, what do you think? First off, how was the acclimation back into society after you left the service? Because I'll say this much.
Guess, no, I didn't do a lot of combat. I didn't do any combat. Hey, you okay? Am I set? Okay.
All right.
Okay. Make sure you're comfortable.
What you doing, man? Okay. Hi.
Not really. At the time I got out, I actually got a lot of help. I got out when I was in Florida, and actually the unemployment office at that time were really they had a very good setup for veterans. You know, if you had a certain specialty, you want to do something, they put you in that area. And I got a very good job when I got out.
Yeah.
I think today up here, and I'm not to cut down, but the guy that's been up here for years, I personally think he was useless. He tries, and he's probably helping those. And to be honest with you, I would rather someone that's coming back from battle in Iran and Iraq that been through a lot of stuff. I says, give it to them. I don't need it. I've been doing good. But as far as me going into civilian life, it wasn't that bad. It was fine.
How old were you when you came home?
I was 22.
22.
I joined when I was 18, and I was 23.
How long was it? Was it like there's two ways out of this. You're either going in the military or you're going to jail kind of situation?
Oh, no. I always wanted to join the service.
Always wanted to.
Always
Okay.
wanted. And I wanted to be in the Navy because sailors always got laid.
Okay.
That was always my thought.
By
'cause
women?
Women love sailors.
Oh.
This Navy
So
joke.
you don't care. Okay, you're sitting over there. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. What's that? They do have nice. Yeah, I'll give you that. But I was too much of a chicken shit to join the Marines. I have a lot of Marine friends. Matter of fact,
Jump
most
on
of my
beaches?
boss.
To jump on beaches?
Get with it, brother. So you were 22 when you came home.
Well, I got out in Florida. I got married just before I got out, and I was down there for 3 years. Yeah, it was interesting.
And you're still ripped, huh, Randy?
All right.
No,
He is. You seen him? He's jacked.
I've seen this fucker with. He looks like a.
Well,
He's like Popeye, bro, with a red beard.
I am what I am.
He looks like a Brillo pad that somebody spelled cherry Kool-Aid in. Like, he just.
One big Brillo pad. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you got rid of the sweater in the middle of summer, you'd be a lot cooler, you fucking douche. But so, I'm one thing I'll say is that like, you're.
Say it then.
I'm trying to think of how to word it, right? Like you're. I know you as one of the most inappropriate persons I've ever come across, but
Coming from him, that says a lot.
Yeah, it does. Like we're only as sick as our company, but he like you're so respectful when we're in public. You know what I mean? Like always holding doors for people.
Raised by a good woman.
Well, my mom was a good woman.
Yeah. But you didn't listen.
No, I did not. No, I did not. I did not, and I had family that was willing to be like, "Look, let's tighten the fuck up." And for the longest time, I'd be like, "My family is so mean to me. I just don't know why. They're just so cool because they want me to stop fucking smoking crack and stealing money. But why would I want to listen to them?
They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, God, fucking." Fucking people with their lives and paid off mortgages. How dare they?
Responsible.
How
What a crock of
dare
crap
they?
that is.
But anyway, I mean, you're just like, there's a certain conditioning. I know a gentleman that was around my age. We got out of school. He went into the service. He came out, and he is, before he went in, he was a little bit like me, kind of wild. And he still to this day is just like, prim, proper, holds doors, fucking. I'm pretty sure he still tips his hat at women when they come in the door.
Yeah.
Like, how many fucking people our age do that? We weren't taught that stuff. Well, maybe we did. We just didn't listen.
I hold doors for everyone, and I've said that it's because I've spent so much time in this town as a child. Because you go to other cities, and it's not like that. But in this town, people hold doors, and everyone says good morning to you in the morning. They don't say hi, hello, none like that. They say good morning.
Except for me.
Except for me, I say yo or hey.
I tell people to go fuck themselves.
That's your version of good morning.
It is. If I haven't told you to go fuck yourself, that means I don't like you.
Feel bad, yeah.
I mean, shit. What is wrong with you?
He didn't flip me off. Well, he must be mad at me.
Customary fucking class meeting. Fuck you. But
You're number one.
I tell everyone this.
You're number one.
It's preposterous.
Kill me now.
So, we've been, I would say for the better part, it's been 5 years since I met you.
Been that long?
It's been that long.
God.
5 years.
It's like a lifetime.
It is. It's been. It's seriously. It has.
Did you just get that? My ADHD's kicking in.
No, I've had that for a while.
Oh, okay. Shave your legs or something.
No, Kent was just giving me shit about that.
Yeah, I was
today,
going to say you got the
too.
nair out today.
I
Didn't you?
I used
Why
to
are
get
you
made.
so
you
hairy
missed the
above
spot
the knee,
now.
bro?
They used to
This
make fun of
missed the
me in
spot.
high school because I was like, they were like, it's just like bear right there.
Oh,
I
it's
was
always
like,
been like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't get hair right
We
there
were
on
looking
my
to
leg.
fill some time. Let's talk about
body
the
hair.
lack of hair.
You want to see
on
some
Chris's
body
leg.
I was
hair?
gonna say,
Randy,
no,
show
yeah,
him, buddy.
You don't want no body hair now.
Yeah, whatever. Dude, seriously, you look like steel wool that somebody bled on when you take your shirt off. It's so fucked up.
It looks coarse.
yeah,
Looks like you
is.
can take some paint off.
Is it Amanda that does the hair removal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I laughed her. I told her. I said, everyone says, "Won't you shave that?" I'm like, "Well, where would you stop?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, to make it look net, I'd have to shave it all off, and I'm
He
not
would
doing
look.
that.
Remember that movie Powder? Dude was like albino with no fucking hair whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's what came to mind.
Wow.
Just
We'll make sure that
Strange
Yusuf puts
mind.
that up on the screen somewhere. So,
Wow, where is he anyway? He's
Yeah.
not back yet.
he was fighting crackheads.
yeah, that
Yeah,
did.
but they drove off.
I don't.
Did they drive up?
Yeah.
I think they were
Yusuf
waiting
was the
Took a
for
kind
picture and they
cops.
drove.
Yusuf is the kind of guy who would like go out to the curb and say like,
gonna say.
"Got to get the last word,"
Yeah, for
and
sure.
be like, "Get away from the Dolphins!" And you just say some weird ass shit, and dude's gonna be like, "What the fuck you say?" And then back up. We should,
And he's recording it because I got some video from him.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
Where are you?
You piece of shit.
Randy has us at gunpoint. Anyway, so would you say that all the time in your service gave you a slightly more, I don't want to say narrow, but focused perspective of what society's all about when you came home? What it was prior to, meaning like what really matters versus what doesn't.
Well, I went in right after high school. I graduated in June. I signed up the end of June, and I went in January. That was the soonest I could even get in. I mean, back then everybody wanted to join. There was some benefits to join it. I mean, not only to serve your country, but I mean, they actually offered you some. I don't know what all they offer now. I just found out, and I'm
Still got the GI Bill, right?
Well, yeah, I found out from a Marine that I worked with. He'd been in over 26 years, and he hasn't got a full pension. And I looked at him. I says, "Are you kidding me?" He says, "No." I don't know what the whole thing is, but that I don't know when that started or what the whole deal was. So if anybody's got, if you got some information, that's fine. But that really burned me. I'm going, are you kidding me? People spend 20 years in the service, and they won't give you a full pension. Now, I don't know what all the...
Yeah.
And he is not exactly, I don't know. He was, I think he was 50.
Yeah, that's
And that's
So, and
just
he didn't just get out in the last year or so, too. He's probably been out 20 years.
No. He's only been out. He was only out a few years. He was
Really?
Yeah. He might have been a little younger than that, but but I was in awe.
See, and that's
But I tell you what, I'm a big advocate on taking care of the veterans, and I seriously, honest to God, I'm not picking on any president, none of them. And of course all this stuff, all the help we're giving to Ukraine, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But I just don't feel we're taking care of our own. That's just my own. That's
we're
my
not.
own personal.
I heard an interview with the last president, and it was funny. They were asking about all these things that had happened during his presidency, and they asked him, what do you think you're going to be most remembered for? And he said, Veterans' Choice. And I was just like, for some reason, I don't think Veterans' Choice is what's going to come to mind.
no, they hate
when
him.
we think about the 45th. No, the vets don't hate Trump. Vets love Trump. But
Really? You mean the ones that walked away from him in droves when he said that if you became a prisoner of war, you were basically a pussy?
That never happened, Pete.
Oh, you know what? We're not gonna do this.
Yeah,
this episode.
let's not get into
Pete's
all
making
this.
things up again.
No, you ignore things like always and see things from your skewed
He was
perspective. Which
he
is
was
fucking-
saying John McCain was a piece of shit. He was talking bad about John McCain is what he was doing.
That's the only thing
That's
about
what he
Trump that
said.
really bothers me is just the way he was. McCain was one of my heroes. He reminded me of my dad. I mean, and that's just my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
But that was the only thing about his spat with McCain was that was
Yeah.
Well, McCain's like run Arizona, right?
he was senator there. He wasn't. He. The guy wasn't perfect, but my God,
No, and
what he went through.
What
is
I
like,
what I
really?
what I truly admired most about him was when he was running against Obama in the election. I think it was the 2008 election, wasn't it?
I think so.
Where he ran against him,
Yeah.
and so they were having like town hall meetings, and there'd be people in the crowd just saying these terrible, basically racist things about Obama, and he didn't belittle these people. He would pull them aside and he'd say, "We don't talk like that."
Right.
And these things you were saying about him are not true. And he did it with such a great, like.
Are you just talking about the one line where the lady said he was an Arab?
No.
Or are you trying to say that happened a bunch of times? Because there's one famous line where the lady calls him an Arab and he says,
Yeah,
no,
I think
he's
I
not.
remember. I don't
And there's
know.
the one time where that happens that the media took out, blew up.
He was
but I don't
very-
think that happened repeatedly.
Actually,
McCain was very eloquent in how he handled all that.
It
Even
didn't
when he
happen
conceded.
just there. It happened at a press junket in Utah. But again, people like to remember things the way they like to remember them, Chris. So what I'm getting at is that what I feel is gone now is like that overwhelming. Basically, anybody from now on who's going to be president is going to be viewed as a joke, period, because the country is so divided. And whatever legacy any president is going to leave behind from this point forward, it will never be enough. It will never be enough. And I think one primary focus ought to be how we address veterans who, are willing to lay down their lives for this country. And we just leave them out to dry. We totally leave them out to dry.
When you
Like
sign,
the thing about the pension really fucking pisses me off because
like I said, I don't know all the facts, but when he told me that, he says, no, that's why he was working, the shit job that we were working. They just making extra money or whatever. And I'm like,
What about what do you think about the whole withdrawal from Afghanistan thing, Randy? What do the vets? What have you heard people say that because it looked terrible? Like they looked like they were leaving. They were telling people they were leaving. Then they left a bunch of equipment. They killed a bunch of dogs that we.
Well, I'm sure the media is throwing that out. I personally, I thought that was a shit show, and I know a lot of veterans thought that.
Just the whole 20 years. The whole 20 years was a shit show, right? Like,
yes and no.
yeah,
yes and no. I think there was some purpose in them being there. I will not anybody that's died over there. It's like they died with a cause.
yeah.
But
the withdrawal itself, it looked.
that was a bit of a shit show.
It was crazy, right? It was like, what do you guys do?
The thing is, if you're going to leave the equipment, disable it.
Yeah, and it's like they lost the war. So 20 years, you're there 20 years, and then within a week, they lost the war. Like in a week, like they left, and the Taliban just went and took back over all the cities. Like within a week.
As soon as they were gone,
they said it wasn't going to take that long. They said, and then once it was over with, they were like, we didn't. No one could see this. It was crazy. So I just don't know what. I know some vets were pissed. They were like, "What the hell were we doing there to just lose like
right?"
that?"
There was a lot. There were a lot of people not happy about that.
Yeah, I know a lot of like Gold Star families were like pissed. Like why do I have this fucking Gold Star and for what?
And again,
Yeah, the Army Ranger Michael Cathcart, that's named for the Tuscola. But I babysat him when he was younger. I dated his mom. Well, she passed away last year.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking
mad at-
about.
she's
Memorial Day weekend. Oh, you don't like? He was hiding under the
Kubba-da
couch.
bubba-da-boo.
4th of July. He was scared. His nose was sticking out. I was like, sorry.
So like the there is this whole point of, what do we get into wars for in the first place? What do we do marching into sovereignty?
That's above my pay grade, does
Exactly, right? Like, we can. There was this movie that was like going around the internet in the mid 2000s called Zeitgeist, and it was in 3 parts, and it basically led up to the whole 9/11 Iraq invasion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And as a young, impressionable, early 20-something, I'm watching this movie going, holy man, there's so much more of the world going on than I could ever imagine. And they're totally like butt fucking us. Oh my God, they're just out there to get us. And as a 41-year-old man, I look back and I go, so what? Like, I stood outside when I've been at protests, I protested against the war. And I remember going home that night thinking to myself, like, I don't feel right about. I can be a keyboard warrior all I want on the internet and Twitter, and yell at people.
And he is.
Yeah. And so, bad. I got rid of that Twitter. I
told you to do that months ago.
I know. I finally did, though. Somebody's going to find those. So.
I told you.
Somebody is going to find those.
Don't get famous. You'll be canceled. It's bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Well, but again, like, I went home with this feeling of this doesn't feel right. Back then it was, I know I can't accomplish nothing with my Bush as a Nazi sign, so this isn't going to get me anywhere, right? It's not going to get me anywhere. Like little old Pete, rotund old Pete ain't going to fucking, he's not going to get the world changed with his sign outside of the fucking Civic Center. But what would happen, right, is as I get older, I see that it's kind of disrespectful to the people who laid down their lives and served when I sit here and I piss and moan about what they did over there. They're following orders. That's what they're taught to do. Am I right? You're taught to follow orders in the military. Mm-hmm. You obey the orders of your commanding officer, who has a commanding officer, who has a commanding officer, so on and so forth. So when we sit here and we do all this pissing and moaning about how we handle things, we can blame politicians because ultimately they're the ones that, kind of tell the military what they ought to be doing. Because if it was the other way around and the military ran the country, it'd be a lot worse off than we think. So we have to find this way of fixing the balance or whatever, I'm sure. But
that's a lifelong thing.
Yeah. And you know what? I can't solve it, and I don't want to. But you as a veteran, you bring up the fact that we pulled out of there in a hurry, and it basically goes, well, I was over here for what? What did I accomplish?
That's like I said, it's above my pay grade. I wasn't there. I can't speak for them. I know that being in, I know a lot of people were. It was just a shit show.
This is
it's a shit show,
and it's not the first war where us leaving was the only way to basically win. We cut our losses. Vietnam was like that, and they, and we never actually finished Korea. It's still, I think, an open war to this day. It's not
even considered a war. It's called a conflict, which is bullshit.
And you have all these proxy wars with the communists where we fight. You got the CIA fighting KGB here. They're battling to rig elections to see who can get a communist dictator, who can get a Western dictator into the various countries, the stands in the oil countries and stuff like that. One good thing that happened recently, and I brought this up before, is that the Special Forces now reports directly to the Secretary of Defense, and they can't be called in by intelligence community. So the intelligence community used to be able to call in special forces when they would lose something. They could call in, berets or whoever to come, help us out. We lost. And now they can't. So that will prevent a lot of proxy wars and bullshit wars because you don't have intelligence community overseeing special forces. That's a good thing. To have the military in charge of the military is what we want to see.
Jesus Christ.
That was a nice one.
Kaboom.
They got that.
I got some CBD oil I should have brought.
Yeah.
So,
she takes it sometimes for car trips. My aunt told me to try it with him. My dog is currently scared of the Memorial Day fireworks outside.
Boom, 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 boom.
Wild Bill's has it. That's where I usually get it.
Yeah.
Wild Bills?
Wild Bill's. Yeah, Wild Bill's got that CBD on. Or your poochie.
Did you say coochie?
Hey, poochie, not coochie.
They had some at Dog Bowl today. Did you see the CBD booth?
No.
Zilla's?
I didn't get a chance to walk around at all. I just
To give some context so that you can feel like you're part of the conversation, they went to the Dog Bowl today. So why don't you let them know what that was all about and what you did while you were there, you fucking turds.
Wow.
There's like literally all the dogs.
Any dog you would ever
All of them.
imagine was there.
They got the dogs that jump into the water for distance. They got the obstacle course. They got
disc throw.
Yeah, they got wiener dog races.
Yep, they had those yesterday.
That's the big one. They got
It was
police canine demonstration. They got tons of booths selling all kinds of stuff. Dog CBD, doggy treats, and a doggy play park. We had fun.
Ooh.
We had fun. We peed and pooped on everything.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
were the
do that
dog.
already anyway.
Oh,
I was going to say, you were the dog. Shh. It's okay, bud. It's okay, boy. Poor little guy.
We used to have this beagle when I was a kid named Snooper. And I shit you not, our couch was against the bay window, and the windowsill came right up above where the couch was. So that ledge kind of sat over the couch so you could like put stuff on it. You know, you could put the remote or your beer or whatever. Mm. So 4th of July weekend, you know, the way that we've always done fireworks around here, which is dumb, we never have it on the big night. We always have 2 little nights and then 1 big night. And as long as that big night falls on a Saturday, no matter what it is,
right.
You know. So it was the big night of the fireworks. It's when they first started doing that, actually. It was like late 80s. And I don't remember the circumstance. I was 8 or 9, and this fucking dog, every time it heard fireworks, it was a fat fucking dog too. It would run over to the windowsill and literally pull the couch away from the fucking wall and hide behind the couch. Yeah. So I'd be laying there with it like, and its legs are up in the air, like just somehow it was its security blanket, even though, like, the whole reason we didn't have the TV on that wall is because lightning struck. Came through the wall and blew the fucking TV up.
Really?
Yeah. And she was home when that happened, right? Because we weren't home. And she saw it happen, and she wouldn't go in the living room for weeks.
Yeah.
She never came in the
She's
living
like,
room.
y'all should have seen this.
Screw that.
I am good.
I am not going in there.
We came home from, it was actually, and my dad and I were talking about this today, I think it was over Memorial Day weekend. We used to go to my mom's brother's in New Buffalo, which is kind of down, it's at the southwesternmost tip of the state, and we would journey into Chicago. We'd catch, just have fun down that way. We came home.
Tip.
You want to journey to my tip, Chris? It's only 3 centimeters away. But
Yes.
yes, stop.
Yes.
Anyway,
Sorry.
So we were talking about how Memorial Day weekend brings back these memories for us, where we would go visit the family down there, and my dad way later in life, worked in an auto parts store, and then all of a sudden picked up fucking IndyCar and fucking NASCAR races.
All right.
Okay, like I am not into 4 hours of fucking 4 left turns, but all of us,
I've tried. They're fun to go to.
Yes, I've been to an IndyCar race at Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much because Ryan Starr wandered up to my fucking porch while I was waiting for my ride to pick me up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Remember Ryan Floaty, the one you told him to sit down and shut up?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So Ryan wanders up and he hands me a pocket full of fucking pills. And he's like, "Here, take these. You'll have a great fucking trip." So I get to the fucking.
Did you know what they were?
No,
Like,
not
you knew what a
clue.
couple of them
But
were.
I had been drinking all night. Like, I'm just going to stay up. So
That's
I get
gonna
in the
work.
car and I pass out and they shake me alive. Like, basically, I probably needed paddles at that point. But anyway, so we get to the racetrack. I wake up, and the 3 best events are: I look out into the infield, and my buddy Tony is there, and his family owns a bus company. So there's their bus in the outfield. I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking talk to him, like. You just can't, you know.
Walk out there?
Yeah, like the race hadn't started yet, but I got in there. I'm talking to him, and he's like, "Did you even go to bed last night?" I'm like, "Why would I do that?" And then I get back over to the stands, and it's 90 fucking degrees. At least that's what it feels like. It's 90 degrees,
Probably is.
hot as shit. Like, it stinks like Busch Light and fucking semen in there. It's just terrible. And I'm
You haven't drinking any water.
not a drop, not a drop. It's all been Miller High Life that they had on tap there,
Which is almost water, by the way.
yeah, it is. I mean, I was
fair.
getting the nutrients, right?
The champagne of beers.
And this dude I was with, he was like, "I'm gonna get this place started doing the wave." And when you look around, it was so many miserable little kids who didn't want to be there, wives who didn't give a shit about being there, and so many camouflage baseball caps, right? And he's like running
Thank
up
you,
and down
veterans.
yes, thank you. So he's running up and down the stairs trying to get everybody to do the wave, and you could see like 3 people on both sides of the aisle going, and I remember thinking to myself, why in the fuck am I here? Because the tickets were free, and I'll go to anything as long as somebody else pays for it. So I get home that night, and my dad was like, "Where'd you go?" I said, "I went to the IndyCar race." "Oh, Mr. fucking, I'm an idiot because I watched 4 left turns all fucking day. Went to the goddamn racetrack, I see. Oh, okay. And I woke up the next day. I was supposed to go to work. I was so sunburnt that I called in. And my boss was like, "Yeah, I know. I seen you on TV." I'm like, "No, you did not." And he was like, "Oh, no, yeah, I saw you on TV." I said, "Really?" He's like, "Well, no, but I'm pretty sure the giant fucking head I saw puking was probably you, right?" So, but in actuality, we had a coworker that he took me to the event, and he pretty much let him know, "Hey, Pete's in rough shape. He's not coming in today. There's no way he's gonna make it." So, moral of the story is, if probably the most drugged out human being in Bay County walks up to you and says, "Here, take these," don't take them. Don't take them.
Good idea. That is great life advice from Pete.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a definite life hack there. Don't take strange pills from a strange man. But then the best.
But you knew.
Oh, you goddamn right
you
I knew.
knew.
Anytime he
wasn't-
gave me anything, it was
Yeah.
going to be a good day. It was just like, here I go. And you know what? God bless him. And I'm gonna be serious for just a minute. Like,
Oh, shit.
a lot of people want to give that guy some grief, man. But he's at his soul and at his heart, he's a good man. And I hope that he comes home soon and that like he gives the other way of life a chance. And I mean, and the way that I'm going to make this applicable before we wrap up here, because we're getting close. A lot of people go away on circumstances that they join the military, they go to prison, they go to rehab, they go to wherever, and they go with this mindset, and they come back with a different one. And if they want their lives to get better, like we should want for our entire lives to just keep getting better as we go, and they're not always going to. But our mindset when we come home from places sometimes is like, okay, I got this. I'm a stronger man and I can do this. It really starts with being humble enough to know when you have to ask for help. Mm-hmm. And the way that this country is, you kind of get shamed sometimes for asking for help. If people need to go on assistance for a short time, you have a whole bunch of people that say that that's pathetic. I don't believe that lifelong assistance is necessary, but I do believe that people struggle, and I do believe that people need help. But it's not just even, I'm not even talking just like welfare or anything like that. I'm talking about when I'm going through an emotional struggle in my head, like I've been in my house since Tuesday, and yesterday I had racing thoughts all day about getting high, all day. And then it turned into nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know, because I have a good excuse. And then when people see me, they're going to be like, well, he's sick. But I'd know. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I did is I texted my sponsor right away, and I was like, hey, I'm not doing good, man. And he gave me some suggestions, and I followed them. I didn't feel better instantly, but when I woke up in the morning, I was like, hey, you know what? I didn't get high.
Made it through another day.
Yeah, just one day at a time. But I asked for help. Mm-hmm. You know, we're conditioned to not ask for help, to be these strong-legged bull men and women. You know, we have to be fiercely independent. We can't share our emotions and our feelings. And if we hide these things, they become the death of us. And, you know, I understand there's a certain sense of self-pride and commitment that comes with being a veteran. But I've also seen that veterans are smart enough to ask for help. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, some people still, you know, it doesn't matter what your profession was. Some people are still just too prideful to ask for help. But I think you guys are taught that, like, hey, if I'm in need, I'm going to fucking ask for help.
And the sad thing is, I'm saying the VAs they bust their butt, but there's still, it's just they're
understaffed, underfunded.
Got to be more.
What's the veteran suicide thing? Why is the veteran suicide rate so high? What is it? Just they feel
not getting help. They're not. Well, for one, they're not asking for help. I have T-shirts. It's like they say, like 22 veterans a day commit suicide. That's the average, and that's not acceptable. Not acceptable at all.
Is it
because they're not? I don't think it's so much the media. I mean, not even to get them in the conversation, but it's just. It's a matter, and I think a lot of them is to ask for help. A lot of them are so conditioned that this is, you know, it's a do or die situation, and it's sad. But I tell you what, it's like if you're going, it's just like anything else we've all been through. You're going through some stuff. Reach out, call somebody. They don't pick up, call somebody else. They don't answer, pick up somebody else, because your life's worth it. You know, when people sign up for the service, and I think a lot of people don't realize it, when you become government property. Yeah. You signed up, you're willing to die for what you do. And I don't think a lot of people, even civilians or whatever, realize that those that are in the service, they're willing to die for you to live. And a lot of people don't realize that. And that's sad. And that's why, you know, like this weekend, party up, dude. Party up, have a good time, be responsible, and thank a vet, and not just me, but those, and show respect for those that have passed on, so they didn't die in vain.
And also, do not take pills from weird men on your porch at 6 o'clock in the morning,
because that's a trip. Yeah.
That's what we call a Bay City love affair. So, Chris, parting words.
On Memorial Day, United States flag code is to have the flag at half-mast at sunrise
till noon,
and then at noon to raise it
full staff
to the full staff. And around here, if you go to the graveyards, they'll be playing music, and the vets will be dressed up.
There are there's various. I personally go to Floral Gardens. That's at noon. They do the color guard. It's pretty cool. Pretty good stuff.
That's cool. You know, I've lived here 40. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Drive down.
Almost every cemetery usually has. You know, that during the pandemic they haven't done it for a few years, obviously, but yeah.
Parting words, Randolph.
Thank you, vets.
Love your country. Thank a vet.
Okay.
Don't do drugs.
Well, we tried to stretch this out as long as we could to see if Yusef would show up, but he apparently is now in a fight with a Grubhub driver and somebody on a bird scooter, and so he's decided that he's just going to take on all of the fast food industry all by himself. He's out there just.
He can do it.
I heard
Wendy's. He can do it. He can do it.
Is Wendy's for sale? I heard Wendy's was for sale.
The
whole thing. I don't know if that's true.
I
heard something.
Wendy doesn't want to run.
So if you're at home watching, lend us some money so we could buy Wendy's. Call it Randy's, and we wouldn't have to change anybody's hair color.
Really, it's change it, and it even had the same amount of letters too.
Okay, let's give 10 seconds starting now for Yusef to say something into the microphone. Right? He can add it in when he gets home. So we'll go now. I'm just kidding. Fuck you, Yusef. For Chris, Randy, Yusef, I'm Pete. Have a good day.
Peace out.
Bada boom, bada bing.
No, I'm busy tonight, actually.